It's been a very, very, very rough week for Jussie Smollett. A very rough week. What he thought he had ultimately was the perfect crime. The perfect crime by hiring, allegedly, two Nigerian brothers, paying them $3,500, allegedly, to attack him at 2:30 in the morning outside of his apartment in Chicago, Illinois, while wearing red hats, not even red MAGA hats, but just red hats in general, and covering him with what appeared to be bleach or some kind of chemical substance while draping a white rope noose around his neck. And it was a big deal. A lot of people backed this thing up. A lot of people supported him. Publicly calling for an end to racism. People like Nancy Pelosi tweeted out support. She since deleted that tweet, but she did. And I'm sure we're going to find out that a lot of other celebrities who tweeted out support of Jussie Smollett have in fact gone back on their initial word of that, because at this point it almost feels like you have to. What we've seen, what we know right now, ultimately comes across like one of the biggest con jobs in the past few years. Absolutely insane. And now there is repercussions happening over on the set of Empire, which is funny because the guy who created Empire actually came out in support of Jussie Smollett in the middle of this controversy and believes him. But it says here on TMZ that Jussie Smollett's Empire role slashed in wake of attack scandal. Now, that's not a good thing when you kind of look at the situation from what it may have been in the beginning, which the way I kind of viewed it was he probably felt his role on Empire was either coming to an end or coming to a close, or maybe he wasn't getting the screen time he wanted. And that's probably another factor too. Maybe his character wasn't in danger of being let go, but maybe he wasn't getting the screen times and the stories and the narratives and the plot lines that would do well for his career. Right. Once a character gets kind of relegated to second tier, they're almost on their way out the door. And maybe he felt this would be something that would boost him up so much that the spotlight would have to remain on him simply because that's the better optics. Well, that's not happening, at least according to this TMZ report. Now, it says here that his Empire screen time is getting slashed in the wake of a growing sentiment that he staged a so-called attack. Production sources tell TMZ Jussie was supposed to have 9 scenes and a big musical number in the second to the last episode, which is being shot right now. But 5 of his scenes have been cut and his musical numbers have been 86th. As for the remaining 4 scenes, we're being told that he is in fact no longer the focus. The scenes feature an ensemble, meaning he's flanked by a number of cast members. With his duties pared down, Jussie will be spending less time on set. Instead of working every day this week, he's only working Friday and possibly Thursday, and he won't be rehearsing. Yeah, that pretty much summarizes it. Jussie's done. Jussie is done. When you lose half of your scenes and a musical number, that really does upend the entire production. Because what you have right now is you have writers that are desperately trying to work out new drafts. You have production designers that are desperately trying to find out a way to work around what the writers create. You've got actors that are going to be called in to create whole new scenes. Everyone is going to have to do double duty in order to kind of get Jussie out of the way. Now, they could be doing this to protect him. Everyone on board could be doing this as a way to make sure that even though the scandal's happening right now, that they believe that Jussie has not committed any crimes, that Jussie is not is a victim here and not the perpetrator here, and that he didn't in fact pay 2 Nigerian brothers, allegedly $3,500, allegedly, to assault him outside of his Chicago apartment at 2:30 in the morning, allegedly. And that effect was 2 Trump-supporting MAGA hat-wearing white men who assaulted him while screaming about homophobic slurs, racist slurs, all those kind of things. And again, there's no real mention of the white powder envelope incident, which I would argue is a big fucking deal. It's a very, very, very big deal. So this is where we are right now. Jussie Smollett, for the most part, is finding himself in a situation that he is in a world of shit. He is in a world of shit because a grand jury is going to be hearing Jussie's case here as early as Tuesday next week. And right now, the law enforcement officers are telling TMZ that their focus is going to be on presenting evidence that could lead to a felony indictment against Jussie for filing a false police report. That is just the grand jury in Chicago. That is just those guys. We're not even talking about the federal investigation that is going to be conducted into the mailing of the letter with the powdered aspirin contained within and what appeared to be an open threat against Jussie Smollett. I'm flabbergasted at this. Flabbergasted, I believe, is a good word, because we do live in a world where there is racism, there is bigotry, there is homophobia, and it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all. And a lot of people out there don't want to believe that this was manufactured for effect, but it does feel like that. We hear about this kind of stuff often. Every time a waitress or a waiter says, "I wasn't tipped, they said no tip because you're X reason," I now look at it and go, "Oh, really? Is this the case? Is this the truth?" Because almost every time something like this goes viral or something like that goes viral, we find out that it's not, in fact, as it seems. And we have to actually wait nowadays. We should all wait nowadays and wait to get the information before jumping on it. Taking something as secondhand or third-hand knowledge and reporting it as fact is not always the most accurate thing on the planet. But in the case of Jussie Smollett here, this wasn't a second or third-hand thing, by the way. This was him outright coming out and saying, "I was attacked by two MAGA hat wearing, Trump supporting mofos. And they beat me up, and they put a rope around my neck, and they put substances on me, chemical substances, and I'm the victim of a hate crime." And everyone believed him, because nobody wants that to be faked. Nobody wants that to not be real. But I asked this question on Twitter after posting my video yesterday. What do you think is going to happen to Jussie Smollett? Is he going to get 5 years? Is he going to get 10 years? Or is he going to get a suspended sentence? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know, but I feel if this guy filed the false police report, filed the false hate crime, the best course of action would be to have him face the punishment of what it was that those other two guys are going to face. I say the same thing about false rape accusations, because they need to happen. There has to be a massive deterrent. I'm not talking like life in prison, that kind of stuff, but it needs to be some kind of deterrent, because our world, our viral social media world, pushes us away from facts and from logic. Everything is emotion driven. So if you hit the right emotional chord, it doesn't matter what the truth is. It doesn't matter what the reality is. It's what narrative you can create. And it's getting far and far easier for those particular narratives to be created and then profited off of before the truth has the ability to even poke its head out and go, "What the fuck is going on?" Because that is unfortunately the 24/7 world we live in. And I don't see it stopping. I just don't see it stopping. We saw this when Trump was elected. If you recall, there were a number of cases that came out of people saying that they were attacked by Trump supporters. Women in hijab. A college student said she was attacked by someone in a Trump support in a MAGA hat. Turns out she manufactured that. A lot of other attacks that we heard about were manufactured. People make crap up. That's why it's up to law enforcement to investigate. But people, again, want to make it a big deal. They want to play the victim narrative. And Jussie is just another person in the long line of liars who have faked these situations in order for personal gain. And I do hope the truth eventually comes out, and I do hope he eventually apologizes, because what he has done has hurt actual victims of racism. That is true. He's hurt actual victims of racism. And people who do live in fear of certain aspects of things in this country, based upon what they've experienced, are now going to question or be questioned more often about whether or not what they experienced was true. And law enforcement is probably going to come at it through more of a critical eye, and not be maybe as willing to go as further into the investigation as need be, because they might get a whiff that it is in fact hoax. But then they get mounting pressure on them from social media to act now, not to complete the investigation, but to find random people and arrest them in order to make it all go away, because that's all it is. That's really what it boils down to here. I'll give you guys a quick thing before I end this one here. George Zimmerman, right? Zimmerman, whatever you want to think of the guy. Whatever you want to think of the guy, Zimmerman had a huge target on his back. The new Black Panthers put up a $5,000 bounty on him, dead or alive, preferably alive, right? And they wanted him to be brought to justice one way or another. And so many people were in Florida looking for him, to the point of where the district attorney, in my opinion, filed a second-degree murder charge against him, knowing she couldn't prove it. If it would have been manslaughter, they could have proved it. But a second degree in order to get him behind bars. and not to protect him, but to make the mob go away. That's what it was. And then ultimately he was found not guilty about a year later. And again, these things happen like this. So it's stupid. It's so stupid. So anyway, your thoughts on this one? Do you think he's done at Empire? Do you think they're just going to like finish out the season, then not renew the contract, or they're going to finish it out and hope that he lays low, or they're going to wait to see what happens next before they let him go? I think he's fired. I think he's done. I think they're going to just whittle him down because they're shooting the second to last episode right now. So he'll be out of the season finale probably. And if he's out of the season finale, then he's done. He's definitely done. But I leave it to you, your thoughts, your opinions. Let me know down in the comments below. If you guys made it this far, type Empire into the chat so I know. Toss the video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Thanks for calling out my editing error from yesterday. Snaps for traps. And I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day and peace out. Hey, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Since you're here, why don't leave a comment? Let me know what you think about stuff. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you can do that as well. You check out any of these great, fantastic, amazing commentary tracks by me. That's right. I'm not egotistical or narcissistic at all. I'm just your average, everyday, normal YouTuber. Thanks for watching.